Oh yeah. Hello. Today's video is going to be on that guy back there. That's Mr. Dose, my 91 MR2 Turbo. If you're new to my channel, that's that car. There's a link up above my head. I'll get you a playlist. I think that was the fastest I could possibly ever say that. Hey, by the way, that little square black thing in the corner, that is not a trash can. That's actually a portable air conditioner that puts out 14,000 BTUs, which stands for British Thermal Units. I found it used refurbished on newegg.com. It's not sponsored or anything. I just really wanted to share it with you guys because it was under $300 and it is 74 degrees in my garage right now. I've had it running for like 2 days straight, nonstop. But I've opened the door 3 or 4 times now to let the Forester in and out, and it's maintaining a nice temperature in here despite it being 100 outside. For those of you that just want to see me drive the MR2 already, because I've seen that in the comments 100,000 times, I'm almost done with the paint correction. I put in a full day's work yesterday on the car, as you can now see by the time lapse that's scrolling across the screen, and I finished out all the polish on the entire car and went over a few more areas that just had a little bit more work required to get it to where I felt it was good enough to put the final ceramic coating on the paint. Now, as far as the black trim rub strips down the side of the car that you saw in the last video were starting to peel off because the paint didn't adhere for some reason, I don't know why. I ended up stripping one of those panels, this one to be exact. I brought it all the way down to bare plastic, used a red Scotch-Brite on it to prep the surface, used wax and grease remover, and then 3 coats of adhesion promoter for plastic. Followed the directions to the T, and the paint is still tacky. I have a solution though on what I'm gonna do to fix the trim on this car. I ordered something for it, it's not here yet, so first things first, this stuff right here. Ooh. Ceramic quartz titanium ceramic coating. It's supposed to last 3 years, and to apply I'm using a foam brick in a blue mouse diaper. I am going to wear a full respirator because this stuff will probably give you fiery diarrhea and make your lungs implode if you don't. So the way I'm going to apply this stuff is I'm going to put several little drops on the mouse diaper, and I'm going to do a crotch face pattern on the paint. Get it nice and even. Make sure I cover the whole fender. Now I'm going to do crotch face across it this way, just like that. I am overlapping my existing work just a little bit. I don't know if that's really matters, if it's bad or not. You're supposed to wait 2 hours to do a second coat. After about a minute or so, it should turn to a pearlescent hue. Now you probably can't see on camera as it's flashing, but it gets like an oily streak look to it. I mean, you can see some of the streaks on there a little bit. And after it does that, I'll do initial wipe, just like that. And I'll flip the micro, and then I'm gonna buff it in circular motion. That front fender is essentially done. Now I'm gonna whip down the side of the car and, well, time lapse it because fast. Ew. It made my gloves slippery too.
Look inside here. Look at that. That is so nasty. That's for my face. My ass face. I need some water. I'm almost done though. It's a huge nightmare of a detail job. I just went inside to grab a snack, and already this little mouse diaper, I know that's not the technical term. I'm sure there is one and I don't really care. It's already hard as a rock. Luckily, I have more of these little mouse diaper things.
The shadows betray you because they belong to me. Wipe, wipe, wipe. All day long. Wipe, wipe, wipe. While I sing this song.
Here, this is a good example of what it looks like as it's curing. See how it's got like a purplish effect on the streaks that went that way, and almost like a peachy color on the streaks that went that way? It almost looks like an oil slick. And that's how you know it's ready to be buffed off. What is in there? That's so gross. This thing is disgusting. It's a necessary evil. I'm evil. I'm starting to realize that on camera, you're like, hey, shiny. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, hey, shiny still. And then I do something else to it and you're like, okay, it's shiny. Luckily for you, this is the last car I own that has shiny paint. The Focus and the TT's paint are garbage. Focus is getting painted though. I'm painting the Focus soon. Soon.
This is the final panel on the car and I am done. My overall verdict of this stuff, despite this being quote unquote one of the more difficult ceramics to apply, it's not too bad. I may or may not have applied this correctly, and if someone wants to correct me on my methods, feel free to go ahead and waste your time because I don't care. That's splashed off. Okay, wipe it. Alright, I'd say that's level.
That is a good looking Mr. Dose. And I got something in the mail that just arrived. This is a giant tube. Huge tube. Look at the size of this thing. It's like 6 feet long. One of you guys suggested this in the last video on the MR2. Vinyl wrap. It's what the manufacturer uses now on all the trim that goes around the doors on brand new cars. This stuff right here just so happens to have a brand new car sitting in the driveway. This trim that goes around the top of the door is actually vinyl from the factory. Before I get started on that project though, I just got some more tools in the mail from Gear Wrench. These guys right here, I've been needing a good set of pry bars, and these ones are fancy pants. An even littler one, and a big one. Yeah, pry bar drawer. Wait, I think I got one more. There, now I got a pry bar drawer. That's hard to say. Pry bar drawer. Drawer. 3M 2080. Do a little test piece right here since it's got a big crease. And see how this turns out. Somebody's gonna disagree with me on this decision, but I'm actually gonna try this test piece over the trim black. It's bonded enough that I don't think it'll be an issue. It's weird, it's slightly tacky. It's just enough that like, I don't wanna leave this permanently. I actually think that residual tackiness that's on the trim black on the rub strip is going to aid in the vinyl adhering to it even better. And especially because I'm not using any heat on this, there should be no shrink back afterwards either. I have tons of vinyl. If I don't like it, I peel it off and I do it again. Oh, I already like how this looks. I already like how this looks a lot. It would probably work out the best if I were to remove the rub strips from the side of the car, except for the fact that these do not come off the car easy. They're held on with 3M adhesive and plastic clips, and if I go to try to take a 30-year-old plastic clip off, it's probably going to shatter. Get it deep inside that little crease. This looks way, way better. Look how much more consistent the texture is on the vinyl than over here on the trim black. Let me zoom in. See, it's like smooth right here and like grainy looking over there. So much better. That looks factory. This part's gonna suck. The door is like 4 feet long. Not looking forward to this. Oh yeah. Start at the center, work my way outward. As I'm going along, say the strip is like this, I have my finger in the center inside this microfiber. That way it kind of like snow plows it off to the sides, if that makes any sense. Oh yeah, dude, no air bubbles on that. That looks good. I'm trying to do this as gently as possible. I don't want to stretch the vinyl
because then if it gets any heat in it, it's gonna shrink and look like crap along the edges. Smoosh it down. You can really see these air release channels on this vinyl. Super noticeable. I had to upgrade my vinyl spreader tool. It's actually, I think it's got like 2 laps on it still from last time I went to the Nordschleife. Difficult to do because when the previous owner painted the car, I only painted like spot panels on the vehicle that weren't shot when they painted it. They just left stuff that wasn't painted. But when they painted the bulk of the body of the car, these doors, they never removed the rub strips when they painted it. So there's actually a separation on the clear coat along this edge, and it's not in the greatest condition. There's actually areas where it flaked up a little bit. I had to trim it with a razor blade and then go over it with touch-up clear just to try to keep it from peeling up the door anymore. That's why I wish I could have painted this entire car myself, especially now after doing spot panels and knowing how difficult it would be. I'm pretty confident I could do a good job on a paint job on a full car. I'm gonna go over this with a heat gun just to test to see if anything wants to shrink up. That way I know whether I gotta do this over again. Now the O should flow with this line right here. Prep the surface. This is really tricky to line up because this trim actually gets fatter at the back. It's narrower here in the front than it is in the back. It's the following morning. I came out here early and I put not 1, but 2 coats of ceramic infused wax on top of the ceramic coating. That's 5 total coats of product that have been applied to this paint. It's crazy. Oh, it's coming down at me. I'm gonna get smushed against the garage door. I'm so excited. I can't wait to start driving this thing for real. It's hard to describe how intense that red paint is now in sunlight. Like I pulled out in the driveway and it was just like pow, like so red. I feel it's appropriate that I do a walk around. I don't know, I just feel like that's appropriate. So here's the walk around. Ugh, it looks so good, I love it. So shiny. What do you guys think about the red graphic on the side? Should I have done it in silver or do you like the red? Because I can always go silver, I don't know. I'm still debating. It's not what I would consider a perfect paint job, but it looks good from like 6 inches away. It looks really good. And don't worry, I'm still gonna put the antenna on there. I keep forgetting, but yeah. I just took it out for a drive for like half hour, 45 minutes, and it didn't get dirty at all. It resisted dust, which is really good. I'll give it a quick blow off with the air compressor, and as far as more MR2 content goes, there is still 2 little bugs that the car has I need to work out. It runs great, but there's 2 little minor things I need to address. Other than that, you'll just see me driving it in content, because I got another vehicle that's half tore apart in the garage that you haven't been able to see because I pushed it outside in the driveway, and that's the next video, so I'll see you guys soon with another. Bye.